All right, we're on question 5.2, which is on page 29. It says, first, here is a list of points, and it wants us to plot each point and label each of its coordinates. So A is at a half and then 4. So we're going to go over a half and up 4, and that's going to be labeled A. And then B is at -4, 5. So I'm going to go over to -4 and up to 5, which is here, and I'm going to label that B. Then C is at 7, -2, so over 7, down 2, and that's going to be C. D is at 6, 0, so 6, and then we're on the x-axis there, so that's D. And then E is at 0, -3. That's E. Okay, so that was our first part. That was A, where it says plot each one. The next one, it says, using the x-axis as the line of symmetry, plot the image of each point. So we're going to call that A1, or as the technical term I learned, see, I always learn too, is we call that prime. So we'll do A prime, B prime, C, D, and E prime, okay? And so again, we are reflecting over the x-axis. So here's our x-axis, okay? And so we're reflecting over it. That means we're hopping over it. So we look at the first one, which is A, and we have to see how far away are we from the x-axis. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So we need to be 4 away on the other side for its reflection, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're right here, and that's going to be A prime. Okay? Our next thing is B. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here. So we have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and that's our B prime. And then C, we're going to go the opposite, where we're going to go north now, and we're going to go 1, 2. So we got to go 1, 2, and that's C prime. D, we can't, it's on the axes, right? It's on the axes, so we are going to just call that D prime. It doesn't move. And then E, it's crossing over the x-axis. It's going 1, 2, 3, so we have to go 1, 2, 3, and that is E prime. All right, so that's what your paper should look like for B. It says label the images. All right, so we did that. So yeah, that's all of 5.2 for you. That's all of 5.2, question number 1. As we move on to question number 2, it says, if the point 1310 were reflected using the x-axis as a line of symmetry, what could the coordinates of the image be? So if 13, -20, here's 13, -20, it's over here. Well, that's 20 units away from the x-axis. So that means it has to be 20 units away from the x-axis up here if we were to continue this. So what's changing? Well, this would become 13, +20. This one, 13, 570, would just become 13, -570. So how would we explain this? Well, when reflecting over the x-axis, our x value stays the same. In this case, our x value was 13, so 13 stayed the same. And our y value, move that down, y value is its opposite number. Meaning, right, the opposite of -20 is a +20. The opposite of 570 is a -570. So when we are reflecting over the x-axis, our x value stays the same and our y value becomes its opposite number.